Talking about Trump's 15-point proposal. The United States has put forward this proposal to Iran.
Trump sends wish list to stop the war. No nukes and Hormuz safety in focus. Pak postman claims to be mediator. Iran rejects, makes own wish list. As Trump indicates he wants war to end,
United States has put forward a 15-point proposal to Iran to end the West Asia conflict, which includes conditions such as strict curbs on Tehran's nuclear program, an end to support for proxy groups, and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Hello and welcome. You're watching Explained by NewsX and I'm Megha Sharma. In this episode, we will be talking about Trump's 15-point plan to end Iran war. Twice bitten, thrice shy. It is the dilemma Iran is in after US President Donald Trump, in a surprise announcement, said both countries were making major progress towards a deal to end the war. Iran, however, has denied that any negotiations were on and told the countries trying to mediate that it does not want to be fooled again after being tricked by Trump twice earlier, as per a report in Axios. Washington is also pushing for a month-long ceasefire to enable negotiations. However, given the sweeping nature of the demands and Iran's consistent resistance to similar proposals, Tehran is unlikely to accept the plan in its current form. Other key elements of the proposed peace plan include dismantling Iran's missile capabilities and related military infrastructure. In return, the US will offer partial sanctions relief, permit a UN-monitored civilian nuclear program with a fuel capacity located outside Iran, and explore economic engagement to help revive Tehran's economy. In response to Trump's proposal, Iran has set tough ceasefire conditions, including closure of all US bases in the Gulf, lifting all sanctions, halting Israeli operations against Hezbollah in Lebanon, and allowing Tehran to levy transit fees in Strait of Hormuz, according to media reports. The development comes even as the US military prepares to deploy over 3,000 additional troops in the region, adding to the roughly 50,000 that are already stationed in West Asia. As per sources, the US had shared a peace plan with Iran but did not disclose further details. According to media reports, the proposal was conveyed to Iran through intermediaries from Pakistan, which has offered to host renewed talks between Washington and Tehran to end the conflict. On Truth Social, Trump has reshared a post by Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who said that Islamabad was ready to facilitate meaningful and conclusive talks to end the Iran war. According to multiple officials, the US has agreed in principle to join talks in Pakistan, though mediators are still working to bring Iran on board. The negotiations could begin as early as next week, with US representatives likely to include Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. However, diplomats say the Trump's 15-point peace framework for Iran is not entirely new. According to reports, the document is largely based on a proposal put forward by Trump's team during nuclear talks in May 2025, shortly before those negotiations collapsed following Israeli strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. The earlier plan reportedly imposed sweeping conditions, including strict limits on Iran's nuclear and missile programs, shipping out uranium stockpiles, disabling enrichment facilities, and restricting how sanctions relief funds could be used, while offering only partial sanction rollback and a UN-monitored civilian nuclear program. There remains uncertainty over whether a revised version has been formally presented to Iran. Some diplomats doubt any substantial new proposal exists, and even if it does, it may not yet have been shared with Tehran. Trump claimed that very good and productive conversations over the past 2 days had led to progress with Iran. However, Tehran rejected the assertion, saying no back-channel talks had taken place beyond limited indirect contacts about reviving negotiations. US President Donald Trump confirmed that discussions were underway but avoided revealing operational details. He told reporters that the United States was in contact with key figures in Iran who were willing to negotiate. Trump told reporters at the White House that Iran had made a valuable concession related to non-nuclear energy and the Strait of Hormuz, although he did not elaborate. US President Donald Trump said that US was holding talks with the right people in Iran who wanted to make a deal so badly. He said both sides were in negotiation right now without revealing details of the talks that would halt the 3-week war with Iran. Listen in to what he said.
Because they're going to make a deal. They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said they were going to give it. So that meant one thing to me: we're dealing with the right people. No, it wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related, and it was a very nice thing they did. But what it showed me is that we're dealing with the right people. Because, you don't know, because the leadership was killed, all gone. Khomeini, all gone, as the expression goes, the past supreme leader. And then the new supreme leader was racked up, at a minimum racked up pretty good, and everyone else was gone. And then many of the people in the third tier.
Iran, meanwhile, has denied any back-channel negotiations and accused Trump of trying to calm U.S. markets by delaying threatened strikes, which he said were postponed for 5 days to allow time for a potential 15-point of agreement. Meanwhile, the Pentagon is deploying additional forces to the region, including Marine units, in what officials describe as an effort to retain maximum flexibility. Iran has previously warned it could mine the Gulf if U.S. troop movements escalate. Although Washington has not officially released any written document, multiple international reports suggest the proposal outlines strict conditions covering nuclear dismantlement, missile restrictions, and regional security. According to media reports citing officials familiar with the matter, the plan was shared with Iran through back-channel diplomacy, with Pakistan reportedly acting as an intermediary. The proposal is said to include a temporary ceasefire period during which both sides would negotiate the full terms of the agreement. One of the most strategically significant elements in the proposal involves keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. This narrow waterway carries a large share of global oil shipments, making it essential to international energy security. Any disruption in shipping through this route can quickly affect global fuel prices and supply chains. By insisting on open maritime access, the United States aims to stabilize global trade routes and prevent economic shocks linked to the conflict. Israel's Channel 12 said that the United States and Iran would declare a month-long ceasefire during which they would negotiate on the basis of the proposal. The plan calls for the end of any uranium enrichment on Iranian soil and handing over of enriched material, which Israel and United States say could be developed into a nuclear bomb. Iran would also receive assistance in developing civil nuclear energy at Bushehr, a key site that Tehran accused Israel of striking. Despite growing diplomatic activity, uncertainty remains over whether Iran will accept the proposed conditions. Iranian officials have publicly rejected claims that formal negotiations are advancing, while military exchanges continue across the region. Meanwhile, some U.S. allies remain cautious about rushing into an early framework agreement without securing firm guarantees from Iran. However, it remains unclear how widely the proposal has been circulated within Iran's leadership or whether Tehran is willing to engage on its basis. There is also no clarity on whether Israel supports the initiative. Despite the diplomatic outreach, hostilities show no immediate signs of easing. Israeli officials have indicated that military operations could continue for weeks. Acknowledging parallel diplomatic efforts, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said as President Trump and his negotiators explore this newfound possibility of diplomacy, Operation Epic Fury continues unabated to achieve the military objectives laid out by the Commander-in-Chief and the Pentagon. Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Zolfaghari, spokesperson for the Iranian military's Khatam al-Anbiya central headquarters, said on Wednesday that Trump appeared to be negotiating with himself. He said that the one claiming to be a global superpower would have already gotten out of this mess if it could. Don't dress up your defeat as an agreement. Your era of empty promises has come to an end. Have your internal conflicts reached the point where you are negotiating with yourselves? Listen in.
سطح خود درگیری هایتان به مرحله مذاکره خودتان با خودتان رسیده؟ نه خبری از سرمایه گذاری هایتان در منطقه خواهد بود و نه قیمت سابق انرژی و نفت را خواهید دید تا وقتی که بفهمید ثبات در منطقه توسط دست قدرتمند نیروهای مسلح ما تضمین می شود.
The spokesperson of Iran's top military command, Major General Ali Abdullahi Ali Abadi, said that the fighting will continue until complete victory. His remarks appeared to counter Trump's claim that Iran was seeking peace and also signaled a warning within Iran's leadership against backing down during any negotiations. In the latest, Iran's ambassador to Pakistan, Reza Amiri Moghadam, said that there have been no negotiations between Tehran and Washington, contradicting remarks by the US President Donald Trump suggesting progress in efforts to end the conflict. Pakistan and its Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir have been positioning themselves as possible intermediaries, leveraging reported ties with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps to facilitate communication. Officials said Egypt and Turkey are also encouraging Tehran to engage constructively. Most notably, Iran has reportedly made it clear that it would rather deal with Vice President J.D. Vance than the very people handpicked by Donald Trump to negotiate peace. Why does Iran favor J.D. Vance? The U.S. Vice President, who has maintained a low profile amid the war, is seen as less of a hawk and more inclined towards ending the conflict. The latest diplomatic push suggests Washington may be open, at least for now, to allowing Iran's current regime to remain in place in a weakened form, even as earlier positions on regime change appeared to fluctuate. While Trump's peace offer has calmed the markets in the hope that the war would soon end, it has done little to soothe Iran. It remains to be seen if Iran joins the negotiations or its premonitions of a bigger US offensive come true.
Trump sends wish list to stop the war. No nukes and Hormuz safety in focus. Pak postman claims to be mediator. Iran rejects, makes own wish list. As Trump indicates he wants war to end,